What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Paint Society, the channel where the learning doesn't stop when the video ends. Now in this episode, we're going to attack how to fix that fading paint in your home garage using a variety of high quality spray cans. So let's go ahead and get started. So when we take a closer look at what is actually going on here, we can see that the base coat is right here and the clear coat is fading at this edge right here. Now this clear coat is intact still, but anywhere where you see the fading line is where the clear coat is breaking down, and it's eventually moving down the panel, and eventually there'll be only base coat left. So we must understand when doing this job, we're just trying to make our paint look better. We have a very small budget. We don't have fancy compressors, fancy paint guns. And if we were to bring this into a body shop, we could be paying at least $1,000 to get these two panels refinished. And for a car of this age, it's just not really a good idea to put that much money into the car. And to do this repair 100% perfect in a body shop, you would need to remove all this fading paint down to metal, condition the metal, build it back up with the appropriate primers, and that's just not the type of project that this is. And for this job, we're gonna simplify things and use Eco Abrasive's Job Pack. Now the reason why I like the Job Pack is because it's just what you need and it's not a whole bunch of extra paper. Now this is a K series that comes with K600, K800, and K1200. It also comes with a hand pad that I've already been using. And the reason why I like K-Series is because it is a dry paper and it cuts at a much lower speed than it says on the back of the paper. So for instance, a K600 will leave a K600 scratch, but it will cut at the speed of, let's say, a P320. So it kind of cuts out the time that you'll need in between. So we'll first start with the K600 and we're going ahead and put it on our hand pad. Now, before we get started on sanding, I know a common question I'm gonna have is, can I just put new clear coat over it if my clear coat is faded? And although you can do that, it's not gonna look right simply because we're not sanding it, right? And we're putting clear coat over a very bumpy surface, and it's going to peel because there's no chemical adhesion between the two or physical adhesion. So the best thing that we need to do is feather out the transition between the two, the clear coat and the base coat, and the line where it is starting to fade. And no fancy tools, like we said, all we're gonna do is just sand down that line, and you can see how much it's caking up. How easy is that right there, right? It's making it smooth, and from here, we'll be good to go. Now, the reason why I like this is 600 grit, so we don't have to worry about such harsh sand scratches that we need to recover from. And look, it does the job. It's exactly what we need for it. And also what you want to focus is not just the edge, right? But if we carry it a little bit further down the panel, we'll see that we start to have deterioration further down. So make sure you're hitting up all those areas as well. And you'll know based off looking at it, does it look smooth? Does it feel smooth? A little elbow grease and it'll smooth right out. There's no need to use any water when sanding because this paper is designed to be used dry. That's one of the cool things about it and the reason why I prefer using it. Now, if you want to make sure you have a very uniform scratch, there's a block that you can use, and we'll use that on a quarter panel. And it will just put equal pressure. That way we're not pushing in and creating little ripples or dents. And from time to time, that paper will go ahead and clog up. So get yourself a brush, just dust it off, and you'll be fine. And your hands are your best friend. Just feel it. If it feels just a little bit rough, keep giving it a little bit of sand. We want to feather it out. What feather it means is we're smoothing out the layers, okay? We're smoothing out the transition between the two. So when we prime it, we have a good surface to go on, and we can sand it nice and smooth for our base coat. Now, as a good in-between cleaner, I always recommend Sprayway Glass Cleaner. It is aroma-free. It doesn't have any added scents that might leave a film on the finish that will give us any sort of like fish eyes, and it's relatively cheap. I prefer to use a microfiber towel as well. As they get dirty, you just throw them in the wash with some degreaser and they clean right up. It's a good way to get all the contaminants or let's say dust off of the surface. It works way better than a paper towel. And after it's clean, I can feel once again, I can feel a little roughness right here. So once again, I'll take my hand pad and just go over that surface. Over in here, a little rough. You can see some peeling clear still. Then just foam it up again. Give her another wipe. And re-inspect to see if it's completely smooth. We went ahead and got everything masked up to make sure we don't get any overspray on any exterior panels that we don't want primer on. Now the rest of all the panels are sanded up to 600 grit. We have some areas where we did some body work, over on a door and over on the quarter panel. Now the primer that we're going to be using is a 1K primer surfacer from Paint Scratch. So the paint products that we're going to be using today are brought to you by paintscratch.com. And well, a better alternative than just going to your store and picking up, your Duplicolor, and we'll explain why they're better as far as base coats are concerned and color matching technology and all that great stuff. Now, this is a 1K product. That means you don't have to worry about it drying up in the can and a few days later. So we went ahead and we used a 600 grit sand scratch all around our K600. Now it only calls for, let's say, a P320, but I do know how rattle can primers, they do shrink, and I don't want it to shrink into a 320 grit scratch. So that's why I went up just a little bit. In my experience, I find that that's best. And I'll just give it one final clean before we go ahead and prime. You can never be too clean. Now we don't need the primer everywhere. We only need the primer the areas that we have body work and the areas where we sand it, where there's actually our quote unquote good paint, right? We don't need to put primer on that. See, we're using the primer as a filler to fill in the little sand scratches or the porousness of the body filler to give us a surface that we can sand and get it ready for paint. So make sure you shake this up for a few minutes, and then we're ready to apply over those troubled areas. We're going to give it about 2 to 3 light coats. So let's make sure we not only primer where the seam was between the transition, but let's also primer where the base coat was exposed. And we don't go overboard on the first coat. Let's just get that primer on, and we're gonna let it flash. And flash is a term we use for allowing it to dry in between coats. We'll allow it to flash for a good 10 minutes. Now I just showed you 2 coats, but I actually did a 3rd one, and this is after 3 coats, and it's looking really, really good. No reactions. It's still looking nice and smooth. Let's allow this to really dry. Let's give it a good hour to cure up before we start sanding it. So this is just about dry an hour later, and you might be wondering, Brian, how come I just can't use rattle can primer on everything I do, and how come you don't use it back at the shop? Well, back at the shop, we need to be able to have a primer that's a little bit thicker to be sprayed out of a paint gun. Now that thicker primer is a 2K primer. That means it has a hardener and it has the primer itself. Now when they mix together, that is how it cures. This primer coming out of the can is a 1K, and well, it naturally dries just by the movement of air going over it. Now this particular primer won't have the build that a 2K primer does, but for this particular project, it's a perfect material to use. Now at this point, we're ready to sand our primer. Now you can use any black paint, or you can use a guide coat. A guide coat's gonna not clog up your sandpaper as much. And what a guide coat does is it shows you where you still have to sand. You don't need to get full coverage. It should look something just like this when you're done. The point is all the little black speckles get into the grittiness of all of the primer, and it's going to show you where you need to sand and where you have already sanded. It goes something just like this. We're equipped with our K800 on our block, and we're just going to go ahead and sand. Now we can see the areas that have been sanded already because we have our black guide coat still here, and we have clean primer here. Now we'll continue this along the whole entire way. Keeping in mind, you'll still need to go ahead and brush off that sandpaper. Since we're dealing with a higher grit, it might clog just a little bit easier than that K600. And then of course we can switch back to our hand pad if we need for any of those tighter areas that we might need to get into. Now what I like to do once it's all sanded is I like to pull it back out and give everything a good wash with a prep and clean and a gray scuff pad. That way we can make sure that all the residue is off, the car is clean. It's gonna give us a better chance for a much cleaner paint job. And after it's been taped up, it should look something just like this. Now you notice that we did leave our door handle in and our molding. Now in a car just like this, of this age, we're just trying to get some paint on it. We're not too worried about taking those two items off, especially because they are color matched. And speaking of color match, this is our color right here from paintscratch.com. B92P. This is the exact same paint that you'd get out of a paint gun, but it's put into a spray can. And that's why I'm so excited to have two materials that are compatible with each other so we won't have any wrinkling down the road. Now you can look up your paint code using the door jamb. Usually most cars you'll find it there, although it is in different areas. If you hop on the website, you'll be able to help identify where it is on your particular car. Now paintscratch.com also offers different variations. So if you're having a problem with your color, you can always send something in for an added cost. They can do a custom match. Now on all cars, there are going to be variances. Remember that Honda does not manufacture paint for this particular vehicle. Okay, they manufacture cars, so there's no such thing as Honda paint. Depending on the facility that this car was painted in, time it was painted in, that will cause the paint to have different variations, right? So when you send in your color, keep in mind, they're gonna most likely go with the most popular, also known as prime or standard. So it's up to you to take that color, do a spray out of it, all right? Give it a couple coats and make sure that this color matches. Now there's so many different variances and reasons why it might not match. Your car could have been repainted, car's faded, right? For this particular job, well, I think it's gonna be good enough. We're ready to start getting spraying. We're gonna use the base coat first. We're gonna do about 2 to 3 coats, see how it covers, and then lay down some clear, 2-part clear. Let's get rolling. Now the final coat of base is all done. You saw me using a light. Now this light shines through and shows you if you have any light spots down the primer, and well, it looks good, and let's get ready for clear. And so we're back here a day later and the paint is still looking really, really shiny. So what we're gonna do is you have the option of doing a sand and buff, and we're gonna use the Eagle Abrasives K2000 job pack just to kind of level off the paint where it might be just a little bit maybe orange peely, or it might have a little bit of texture in there. And then we'll go ahead and use our CSI buffing compound and polish all in one and get this thing shined up and get it ready for the road again. It's looking really, really good. And hey guys, if you're interested in painting this good and looking this good, if you want to go over to the website down below and pick up a shirt or any accessories, you can do that and greatly help support the page. And until the next time, guys, this is Brian from Paint Society reminding you, don't overthink it. It's just paint. Let's finish this thing up. Yeah.